All right, hi YouTube, and here with another video. Hopefully everything's moving. Yeah, it is. And this is going to be a weird one for me, but we're going to do our best. And I'm here to get real personal with y'all. Maybe I should just make the video just only about me, right? So I think I'll do that. And so you can see me pretty clearly here. It's already nightfall. I'm seeing myself in the. I'm using OBS software right now. If I ever want to do a Twitch stream, but for the last 3 years, I've been doing just like these journal entries for myself. Pretty much since COVID, I've been doing it almost daily, but it's a mixture of writing stuff, journal entries. I will type things, so I have all these text files, Word documents, but I also been just doing audio recordings. In fact, I think I'm still recording it on my phone right now, but I've been mostly doing recordings on my phone, and this is basically me talking to myself, and I basically kind of treat it as like my own little therapy session, where I basically can just talk to someone and I can just at least listen to my recordings whenever I really want to. I probably listen to them about, I don't really listen to them too much, frankly, but I think at this point I probably have like a good hundreds and hundreds of hours of recordings, but I decided to kind of just like archive my life in a way, and maybe someday in the future I can like use ChatGPT, convert it into a book or something like that. But I just like to reflect on my where I'm at in life, where I'm headed, where I want to go, that kind of thing. And basically, it just I don't know, the feeling of just talking to someone, something about talking in the audio recording, it just kind of makes me feel like I'm just not just talking to myself. But there's times where I will talk to myself. I used to take shower. I'll take showers, and I would talk on myself about asking myself questions about like the Eastern Front World War II analyses, and I would just basically have like long presentations that I would do in the bathroom. So that's where it started. I mean, I've been in that sense I've been talking to myself for quite a while. I think as early as like high school, freshman year in high school, I think, or something around that time. So this recording, it's all over the place. I can really just talk off the dome. I don't have to stick to any script. I don't have to stick to any plan of action, nothing like that. I can just talk. And there's definitely like ego in this because, depending on who I think my audience is, I find myself just overall changing in some of my habits, because it's kind of this thing of like me presuming, what people think of me and all that. And so it's like, I'm putting on different masks basically. But at any rate, there's still value in doing these audio recordings. But I think what I'm going to do is actually upload this to YouTube. So I'm kind of going to just, I guess, put my heart on a sleeve. I know I'm not supposed to do this according to like Robert Greene, Game of Power, and like, just game of politics and all that stuff. And just like realizing that, you're going to have to like engage with other people's egos. But I'm pretty sure, if I want to be like, say, famous, and I don't necessarily want to be famous, I'm pretty terrified of the idea. And that's actually one of the reasons why it keeps me away from like doing a lot of stuff. But at some point, I think I need to accept the fact that at some point, no matter what I say, what I do, who I am, what I believe in, any of that stuff, like there's going to be someone who's just going to like probably be mean to me at some point. And it wouldn't be the first time. And I've been just dealing with a lot of just meanness throughout my life. So, why am I so afraid then? And I gotta be like Mike Tyson. Or I want to be like Mike Tyson, and just realize that, when the criticism hits me, just take it. Take it like a champ. Ride the storm. Face the fear, and have faith in God, basically. And so, what all of this really is an exercise in developing faith. And I think this is it for me. And I don't want to be a Bible thumper, thumper Bible. I grew up super liberal, by the way. Like I grew up in East Coast Maryland. Like I grew up like in the DMV, DC area, and like everything from my upbringing all the way through, it's like liberal to the max, right? Talking about socialism, and I didn't even have any concept of money like whatsoever. And, I just found myself just surrounded with a group of people who like meant well, but like, it's like, it's whatever, So now I live in Texas. So I literally like radically like try to change my life in different ways. And COVID year was the big year for me because I kind of just like found myself sort of in a way drifting. And then I eventually found myself out here in Texas. I never actually intended to come out to Texas, but then I just remember that like my father, like, he, I heard about it, stories that he like grew up in Texas, and somehow that actually made me want to explore it. That's not the only reason why. Another reason why I was to study World War II history, believe it or not, and also just, also shout out to No Country for Old Men. That's like probably my top 5 favorite films, and I really like the antagonist a lot because he's like, he's like Latino, but like he's like super deep and stuff, and he's just all the characters were really interesting. But I think without a doubt, the antagonist kind of took the show away, and just the cinematography and all that stuff. So that said, where are we going with this one? I can't even tell you. But I think right now I'm just here to let myself know that I'm trying to seek a new nature, right? And I've been following Jesse Lee Peterson quite a bit, and his fellowship today he was a lot more serious than usual. Usually he's a lot funnier, and I felt like the message was directed towards me. Maybe that's just me just being a little woo-woo about it, but whatever. I felt like he was directing it towards me because I said in the comments like I was really pissed off, and it's because I was really pissed off because I essentially quit smoking quit smoking cannabis for a few days, and I've just been trying to confront my like true emotions and let like the emotions that are in my subconscious being suppressed and just kind of letting them surface, and I just found myself getting really angry. And then what I found myself like in those days that followed, this was pretty much last week. Today is Sunday, and this was probably like Thursday or Wednesday of this last week. And I was literally like calling my cousin a nigga and saying fuck you to him via text. With my, I had this terrible argument with my mother, and basically this thing of just like, She's always kind of I don't want to really like talk about her too much, but I think the point is that I've just been really pissed off, and so why so angry, and the short answer is that I've been trying to get like my people, or at least my social circle, the people I've known, and I'm trying to like get them to like join me on this journey, call it on this space-time adventure, if you will, to like find God, find like harmony in the universe, and I've just been really frustrated at like how they just haven't kind of been really reciprocating the same enthusiasm or the same energy or the same willingness to like go into the abyss or go into the unknown as I have, So take for example, like I would have loved to have eaten magic mushrooms with my whole family together, just like sitting together and just in one room and just see how the experience would be like. And I think the times I brought it up, they just like, no. My family, I mean, they kind of have the Catholic background more or less, if that can frame any context for anyone out here, for any East Coastian Catholics out there. There's just a hardcoreness about it, at the end of the day. But it's not even about that. It's something else. And so I've really, for the last 3 years, I've just kind of found myself just arguing and fighting, and the COVID lockdown, and like just like leaving, and I haven't seen my parents in 4 years. I haven't seen their eye. I haven't seen them face to face in 4 years. Now I have seen other families, my grandpa, uncle. I still have other people out there. I'm sure some of them are even going to watch this video. But like basically, I've seen, there's ways to be in contact, but I've just been finding myself just super angry about the whole thing, and and everybody's like, "Oh, why are you angry?" and this, that, and this, and it's like at this point, I just need to accept the fact that it's not even about them. It's not about them. It's not even about them in my life. It's about me finding a new nature, and I think the mistake I've been doing is like, in the process of finding a new nature, thinking that I can somehow share that nature with other people. But the truth is, I don't think I can. The truth is this spiritual journey that I've been under is it's meant to be done alone. There's no one that's going to really help me in this journey. There's no one who will really understand what I'm going through. Maybe they can sort of like empathize in their own way, in their own path. As I've been able to empathize with a lot of other people in their own path, I've been able to find people who kind of seem to get it. I think even someone like Lex Friedman gets it. I think about him a lot. I even had a dream about Lex Friedman, and he was really pissed off in that dream. Believe it or not. Why? That was said. Anyways, so I've had dreams about other people too, of course. I even had a dream about Alex Hormozy as well. So people who I've been watching their videos a lot lately, and it's like I just can't help but notice just like how much growth they've been going through, even as I started to follow their journey. And I still have this. Maybe it's my ego here, basically, but it's like I just can't help but notice that I feel that, and I've felt that, and so it has definitely brought me out to Central Texas, in part. And so Alex Hormozy, for example, he left Baltimore, bro. Like he left Baltimore to go to California. He drove, I think, and that's crazy because I've done it too, and I did it in part because he inspired me. Once I finally finished my college degree, I had to get the fuck out of like the Baltimore area, and I was like living out of my car for 8 months, unintentionally. It just kind of happened. I ended up getting really sick in California, and then thankfully I had a friend who could take care of me. And today I felt pretty sick right now. Like I've had some pretty bad diarrhea, basically. I'm showing a lot right now, but apparently, as what Jim Carrey would say, it's like, maybe I'm depressed, and what's happening is that my body is depressed, more so than I am, and it's like, being so open on the internet like this, and just like trying to open up as I am right now, like it scares the fuck out of me, guys, because I just feel like there's like a big boogeyman that's going to come and like fuck me up or something like that. I don't know. Maybe KGB will knock on my door and take me away. Something like that. I don't fucking know. And so, it is kind of like the paranoia, for any of you smokers out there who like smoke cannabis for the first time, or like decided to smoke like too much, and like decided to go to like a public place, like go to the mall with like their brother, and like decided to just have a complete panic attack in the middle of the cafeteria. If anyone is understanding that kind of stuff, like just know that like that's kind of the intensity gut wrench that I've kind of felt today. And same thing with psychedelics, and so I did do the 7 grams hero's dose, or the heroic dose, according to the Reddit pages I read, and I saw the devil, folks. So like it was some pretty intense shit, and it's just been wild for me, folks. A lot of this was also triggered by reading Carlos Castenada's books, because that gentleman, I haven't finished reading his books, and I think it's because they've just induced a lot of fear in me, and it's gotten to a point where it's like too scary to almost read his books. But anyways, there's one area there that's been really confusing me, because he said that God was on the table. He was saying that God was on the table, and then like our true selves, the Nagwal, or whatever you want to call it, is like, it's like your subconscious self or something. It's like your instinctual self or something like that. It's off the table, is what he was saying. This was like his 3rd book already. Carlitos was already at that point a warrior in the journey, and Don Juan was trying to explain to him the difference between ego and like, I guess, the true self or something like that. Or as he described it, it was the tonal in the Nagwal. And as someone who's just been like keeping their eyes open for affirmations, and like omens and things like that, like I feel like my brain has literally changed. Maybe it's a confirmation bias, or maybe it's the same thing that like successful people do when they like focus on positivity, and it's just like looking at the cup half full or something like that. But it's like I've just noticed more patterns, and when you combine that with something like a fuck ton of mushrooms, man, like just the way I perceive things is different. A little different. Obviously, I'm not doing anything now, but like, it was super different. So here we are, still in this journey, And it is very spiritual. I mean, that seems to be just the underlying theme of all this. It's that it's a spiritual journey because it's like the mind and the soul, if you want to call it that. But I'm sure there's science. There's probably a little bit of science that can back some of this stuff up. Maybe someday or in some way, somehow. I think it was a gentleman on the Lex Streamer podcast, actually, who seems to really have a clearer sense as to what I'm talking about. I gotta look him up right now real quick. His last name is Bach. He was a German guy. Yeah, Joscha Bach. Okay, and I listened to this podcast recently, and like the way he was talking about like just the levels of self-awareness and like all that stuff. I mean, like I think he got it figured out, man. He was even talking about Burning Man, and like like I just found it an omen, like how Burning Man was like covered in water this year, and it was just like, damn, that's clearly a sign that like that's not where you want to be for spiritual growth, folks. You don't need all that stuff. You don't need any of the drugs. You don't need anything to find the spiritual growth. You just need to. I don't know what you need to do. All I'm saying is that what I know that I got to do is like I got to like confront my fears. It seems like, and not be afraid of the fears so much, but instead just like go through it and just like recognize that maybe I'm gonna be ridiculed, criticized, hated upon, whatever comes my way. Maybe the government's just gonna take me away and take me to Area 51 and put me on like some sort of alien experiment or something. I don't fucking know. But whatever that fear may be, like I just need to go through it and realize that God is the one who's gonna save me. And so I do wonder if like the story behind the Carlos Castenada books, by the way, was that I was out in the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina. I was trying to be a writer, basically, and I stayed with this super angry Jewish guy who, like, basically all the money I gave him, he just decided to buy a gun and just start shooting in the back in his backyard. But he also fixed his super long driveway and actually looked pretty nice. But I don't know if he's still alive or not, frankly. But he gave me these books, and he was talking about like he was even talking about mustard seeds and how if you eat mustard seeds you can have like psychedelic experience. Or was it bird seeds? It was some kind of seeds. And it's so funny because recently there's this like Bible quote that talks about like if you just have the faith of a mustard seed, you can all of a sudden like find God. And I do wonder if just that journey, this was during COVID, by the way, when I was out in the Appalachian Mountains, basically like with this angry Jewish guy who like thought like there was just a bunch of neo-Nazis surrounding him and stuff like that. And so he was a liberal. So basically, holy moly, maybe that's the whole thing. But I just felt like he was super atheist, right? But he definitely believed in like cosmology, which is super crazy if anyone's looked into cosmology, Big Bang, and all the visuals and all that stuff, right? And it just seems like where am I going with this, folks? It just seems like I think I came from a community that was Catholic, and yet fundamentally with all that intellectualization, I found myself just like denying God, basically, and just like, I believe in mathematics, I believe in logic, so why is the Bible like, you just hear stuff from the Bible and it's like, oh, it's just so graphic, and it's just like human stuff, and it's just and just like all that basically. And so I don't know if my words are failing right now, but point is, I don't know what my point is right now, but I'm just trying to stay on track here and try to wrap up this video in one piece. But basically I've just for a long time, I think it was more with the atheist camp, or at the very least agnostic camp, because I didn't really like believe in God necessarily, but like I love like The Last Airbender, and I just love like the idea of like bending the elements, and then I got into this whole idea of like alchemy, and in a sense, I read the book The Alchemist on my 20th birthday, and I read it in one fucking day, and that book, man, was so good. It was so different than what I expected. I thought it was gonna be a book about like chemistry, and it actually it was about something completely different. And so anyways, I did do chemical engineering as an attempt to like be that alchemist, I guess. And I don't know. I mean, I just found myself basically kind of falling into the Marxist camp of just like dialectic materialism and just like seeing everything through the study of atoms and the study of matter. And why does matter matter? And I really got into it, but it was really cool. It was really cool, but like somehow something wasn't sitting right with me, and even my like immediate my fellow psychonaut, basically like my wingmen, my psychonaut wingmen, the comrades I had who I got to take LSD with for the first time, and we literally we would just go hiking together, and we made sure to do it out in nature. Some are beautiful, but I don't think any of them. I don't know if they really believed in God or not. Actually, I think they did. I think they both of them do and did, but it was just one of those things where like just from or just where we came from in the social environment, I guess, like we just like I don't think we really like were willing to believe in God, but we were willing to believe in spirituality, and that's the key. We were willing to believe in spirituality, but like not directly in God. And I think the more I've just taken on this journey, I just started to realize more and more by the way, the heroic dose wasn't enough for me to be fully convinced in the whole God faith thing. And I even recently, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I even recently, I did get arrested. Thankfully, I didn't have anything on my record, but I did get arrested, and that was a pretty freaking spiritual journey as well. And I just I'm wondering if the reason why that happened was like to help me build more faith. And so I will say that coming out to Central Texas and being out here and just being near the Sweetwaters, it has helped a lot, I think, and just helping me develop a little bit more. But it's realizing that you don't need to have the Bible directly to like develop that understanding or that connection with the whole God idea. You really got to just, I guess, feel it. It's got to be a feeling kind of thing. So the silent prayer that Jesse Lee Pearson speaks of is really powerful because it's really like meditation. It's really like basically meditation. And so with all that said, someone who like studies a lot of history, military history, as someone who's like my last semester at university, my last full semester at university, I took a course on Nazi Germany, and I learned a lot more about National Socialism. And then you just look at like these parades and speeches and things that they do. You just can't help but notice just like the powerful spirituality that people seem to lean into, and how sometimes those beliefs can get hijacked, basically, if you're not paying attention. And I think the National Socialist is just like exhibit A of essentially them trying to create a new religion. May or may I'm still trying to understand, take a deeper dive into the whole communist world, and frankly, it's way deeper than I've been able to fathom. But I do agree with like a person like what if alt history, who basically concluded that communism is nothing but atheism, and perhaps that's just really all it is. But at any rate, all I can tell you is that as someone who's seen the eyes with a heavy psychedelic trip, and as someone who still has fears, and just looking at what's happening right now with Israel and Palestine, and how and just like knowing about like Archduke Ferdinand, during the First World War, and like just knowing about like the Tet Offensive during Vietnam, and just how that essentially like politically just changed the Vietnam War. I don't know what's happening in the world, and I'm not supposed to like project myself out there, right? But it's just like, it's just important for me to like be, first of all, grateful for the fact that I'm just in a safe place. I'm in a safe place, and I have shelter. I was able to like turn up the heat a little bit in my apartment so that my stomach doesn't bother me as much, and just appreciate that, and just realize that I'm exactly where I need to be. That I'm here for a reason. In fact, if you guys want to know, to make the story even weirder, like literally as I had those just like yelling at my mom on WhatsApp about just a lot of stuff. Like my car's like catalyst fails all of a sudden, and it was like one of the last hand-me-down items I've had. The only other hand-me-down item I have left is like a little lamp, and basically it's like weird how like the timing works. And so now I have about like a month's worth of rent, basically, about a little bit more than that. But I have about like a month's worth of rent, and it's like, if unless I get the YouTube thing to work, basically, I'm gonna have to like basically find a job again and all this. And so then like my mind starts to race. I start to get real worried about all this stuff, and it's just like it's just been a mess, man. So I'm trying to get myself I'm trying to level myself up, folks, is basically what I am. I also read Dostoevsky. That's why I'm able to empathize with Lex so much. Because Dostoevsky, man, when I was living out of my car and I was like driving through Tennessee, and that's when I read the whole book out in Tennessee pretty much. And when I was out there in the mountains, basically, I found that the I didn't know that Dostoevsky was believed in God so much. I read his book, the Brothers Karamazov, and it was incredibly insightful. And I've read his other books before that. I read The Grand Inquisitor, which actually was a short story. I also read The Notes from the Underground, another great book. And then the first one I read was I think it was not Crime and Punishment. Was it? It was Crime and Punishment. And the protagonist there was just like, he kind of was a little nutty, basically, and he found happiness out in Siberia, of all places. And so there's a great French film, black and white, about like kids in the slums. It's a relatively recent film, but the kids, they go to Paris, they go like into the downtown Paris, and then they're taking a piss in the bathroom, and then they meet this dude who's telling them a story about like a train in Siberia that was like moving through, and the train stopped temporarily, and the kid had to get out and like take a shit. Everybody had to use the bathroom, and so they got out and they went and like took a shit in the snow, and then the train started to move. Two of the guys were able to get on, but the last guy, like his pants were falling down. He was trying to get on, and then he didn't make it. He didn't make it on the train, and the train leaves, and he's just stuck in the middle of the fucking snow, and so. It was really cool because that just quirky looking Frenchman that just shows up out of nowhere. What he said was, the question is, it's not that do you believe in God? It's does God believe in us? It was just great. It was just a great quote. And so, and that movie was talking about free fall too. It's like it's not how you jump, it's how you land. So it was very. That just seems to resonate right now, and I can tell you now, folks, as someone who's just like tried their best to like, I don't know, develop some self-awareness, has gone through the therapy, has done a lot of these journal entries and just self-writing or self-reflecting, we'll say, and just talking to themselves for like days on end about all kinds of stuff. I can tell you now that I found a lot of value in I don't know where I was going with that. I now remember. But basically, my mind, our human brains are just like so much more powerful than we think. Our human minds, our brains, whatever you want to call it, it's just so much more powerful than we think, folks. And when you look at like the latest, read about just read any articles about like the latest neuroscience and stuff like that, and like perception of reality and all this stuff. I think the guy who really blew my fucking mind was Dr. Dr. Donald Hoffman. Again, another Lex Fridman podcast, and I started reading a bit of his book, The Case Against Reality, and my YouTube channel is called The Space-Time Adventure, and I had that name before. Apparently, he was suggesting that space-time fundamentally may be wrong as far as describing reality. And when I think about the whole psychedelic thing, it just seems to make a lot of sense, because it's like there's just way more out there than our brains can process, or our conscious selves can process. So what our brains do is that they filter everything out and just like automate the rest, right? Everything's like, a lot of it's being automated, and and I think part of it, when you look at it from a biblical standpoint, is like I just started reading the King James version again, and I've been in Exodus, which is when Moses gets the Israelis out of Egypt, and now they're in the desert. And I mean, they some of them be tripping balls out there. Okay, you read some of this stuff, the burning bush and all this. I mean, Come on. But anyways, there was this one moment where like Moses is like, talking to God, and God was saying like, I'm going to reveal you to me. I'm going to let you see me, but like, you cannot look at me directly. You will see like my back, and like, you will be down at the bottom of the cliff, and I will cast a shadow over y'all, and that will be my hand. And that's what you'll see, because like, if you see me, you will die. And when I think about like the end of the Indiana Jones, okay, when I think about like the end of Indiana Jones, like the first one, when like the Nazis like open up the ark and they're like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, folks. We can't see like it's too much. It's too much. Okay, folks, it's too much. I think it's too much. And so the point here, I don't know what the point is, but I get excited about this kind of stuff. And I'm just here to say that I'm just trying to have more faith in the process and realize that I may just be a vessel, that I may not even be conscious at all. I just may be like flowing. And any attempts at claiming that I'm conscious and claiming that I'm in control or whatever it is, it's just my false identity that's basically trying to just define who I am and set these barriers for what I am. And essentially, that's why I'm not happy or haven't been happy, or why I've just been engaged with like the wrong emotions, or any emotions for that matter, because it's like I'm still trying to force something that is not natural. I'm trying to force an identity on myself that just is not natural. And I think that's fundamentally part of the reason why I think I've put so much distance between my family and I, because they've just reminded me so much of like, it's like a baggage of memories and identity and stuff like that. But it's not just them, and it's not really their fault. It's not on them. It's just the fact that, when you're just dealing with just like memories and stuff, and you use those memories and those life experiences as a way to identify with yourself, as a way to define yourself, it just becomes inconvenient, man. It becomes really inconvenient, and I just find myself in these ruts, So whether, obviously, one rut was living out of my car, and there was a point where like I was getting jobs, and I was just getting fired left and right from the jobs, and it almost felt like the universe just, I don't know, maybe it was just me. But anyways, right now we're just like now just trying to explore more things, I guess, and just put ourselves out there in the world and learn how to open up to the world and not be so afraid of just being who I want to, just flowing, And I can tell you now, folks, just like, I've just been the one place I've been able to find some safe haven has been like skate park of all places. But even there, like people get real fucking negative, man. And so even there, it's like I feel like I don't even belong in a way. But I'm a '90s kid at the end of the day. If that's of any use to anybody, and so anyways, I'm probably going down memory lane at this point. I just remember there was moments that I look back on in which I felt like I was in my flow state really well when I was like younger, and or maybe I wasn't. Maybe in fact I may be able to achieve a flow state in the soon to be in the present. We'll say that's just far more than I've ever imagined or ever could ask for in this life. And I know that because I, by the way, for those of you wondering, I used to identify with being like an introvert and like INTJ personality type. I'm pretty sure the Myers-Briggs is not even a reliable test anyways, but I'm pretty sure I've identified for a long time as an introvert. And then really the reality, no, I actually, because of the recordings that I've done for so many years, for the last 3 years, I've learned that I actually have a lot to say, and there's a lot of things that I can communicate. And it's good to talk. I find sometimes that it's good to talk. Sometimes talking too much, though, is a little meh. And so, this is a 33-minute video. I think I've gotten a lot of things off my chest. I don't know how I feel right now. I wish I could tell you I felt better from this recording. I really don't. I was hoping to find relief in this recording. I'll tell you now, folks, the things that really scare me are like doing reaction videos, and like it would just like probably a really easy way apparently to make money, and like just like other little silly things. And so I gotta watch. There's a video that I was about to watch. Here it is. I don't know if you want to watch it with me. Maybe some people do. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all want to watch this video with me. It's 12 minutes long. I think we might do it, man. But hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. This is gonna not be a reaction video, but it's deadly habits that kill the law of attraction in your life. Pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, let's just watch it together. You'll get to see some of my commentary, and then I think I'm gonna stop the recording here. All right. So let's do it. I'm gonna minimize that, close that, open this. Here we go. I may have to take down this video because of the copyright stuff, right? Marcus Aurelius, though.
The law of attraction promises to fill our lives with abundance and fulfillment by aligning our energies with the universe's. However, unnoticed habits can subtly erode this powerful force, blocking the path to our desires and well-being. This guide shines a light on these obstacles, helping pave the way to unlock the true potential of the law of attraction in our lives.
Here we go.
Neglecting the present moment stands as a monumental barrier in harnessing the potency of the law of attraction. Many become so entrapped in the shadows of their past or in the dreams of tomorrow that the vibrancy of today remains unnoticed and untouched. But it is in the realm of the now that life truly unfolds. Within every fleeting moment lies the nucleus of infinite possibilities, a wealth of opportunities ready to be seized.
Yep.
However, when one is preoccupied with past regrets or future anxieties, these windows to immense potential often shut unperceived. The magic of manifestation finds its foundation in the soil of the present. Moreover, the present moment is not merely a stepping stone to a perceived better future, but is, in itself, a wellspring of fulfillment and joy. By rooting oneself in the now, a profound connection with the universe is established. This connection, rich and resonant, fuels the law of attraction, aligning desires with the universe's abundant offerings. Inadvertently, individuals cut off this powerful connection when they allow their minds to wander through time. When one realizes that the key to power, manifestation and contentment lies in anchoring oneself in the present, it has the power to change everything in one's life. As Bill Keane once said, "Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift of God," which is why we call it the present.
Maybe I have to stop here just for like the sake of like copyright stuff, but I can tell you now, they've got it figured out, folks. They're already ahead of the curve. Okay.
At the core of the human psyche lies a complex web of memories,
You see the hands?
and stories that shape
Those are the
one's
memories
identity.
right there.
However, there's a perilous inclination to cling to pain identities, stories of past suffering, and traumas that carve deep impressions within. This attachment to pain, in its essence, stems from the ego's need to find identity and meaning in these tales of strife. It becomes a
Pretty sure that's what the devil is, folks, by the way. The devil, I don't think the devil means anything. Maybe the devil is meant to be evil, but I'm pretty sure it's just our primitive self, folks. It's the beast of the wilderness, as Dostoevsky pointed out when Jesus Christ went into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. He was wrestling with the beast of the wilderness, and that's essentially like the fact that human beings, like we still have a primitive self, right? Like we were out there like fighting animals and stuff, right? So I find it fascinating how just all this lines up with like, all the scientific evidence that suggests that we have evolved from other living organisms. We'll say from like different types, whatever came before Homo sapiens, and like, it's like millions of years of like habits that we have, right? And even recently, you look at civilization today. I mean, the way it's changed in the last 100 years has been substantial. Even the last, I would say definitely the last 100 years since the industrial period, it's been substantial. And yet, like humans are looking for a new nature, folks. That's what's happening right now. I think we're looking for a new nature. And the ego is dying right now. And this is why we're seeing a rise in war, because maybe it's a quote from the Bible once again. But it's like, when the enemy, when they appear their strongest when they're at their weakest, right? And so I can tell you now, folks, the few nights that I was like really sober, I felt like I was dying. It was really painful. I felt like I had the flu. Like I literally felt sick. And even today, right? So something to think about, I guess.
Posed prison, where past sorrows dictate present actions, shadowing every endeavor. Instead of focusing on the infinite realm of the present, many allow these tales of agony to replay incessantly, creating an endless loop that stalls the power of attraction.
Swore.
In fact, this incessant attachment to pain, more often than not, becomes the greatest inhibitor to personal evolution.
I mean, the same way people have beef, like same way you have beef with your neighbor, governments have beef with like their neighbor. You know what I mean?
For some, it takes a crisis, a breaking point,
but it's like,
to finally shatter this self-made cage. It's akin to a dam breaking, releasing years of accumulated pain and making way for rejuvenation. When one realizes that their very essence goes beyond these stories, beyond the ego's realm, a monumental shift occurs. This newly gained perspective creates a fresh vantage point, where past pains don't weigh down aspirations or dull the shine of the present. But breaking free from this pain identity doesn't denote...
Yo, so when I was reading Carlos Castenada, bro, he was talking about having an ally. And the ally, I think, is kind of just like, it might be like your little mini Holy Spirit or something. But it's like just some sort of guardian angel, basically. But it's like you. And you can see it from the corner of your eye, apparently. And it's like, I think he saw it from his left eye, like from his left eye. And like, it's like some sort of entity, some sort of being. It's like powerful, dangerous, yet there to help somehow. It's like raw, it's just like raw personal power. And when I look at this image here, folks, and I see this, I think this is essentially the ally. Okay.
Note the eradication of past experiences or an act of forgetting. Instead, it embodies the understanding that one's essence is not solely tied to these tales of sorrow. One can acknowledge their past, learn from it, but not let it hold dominion over their present or future. Recognizing that the purpose of life is evolution and growth helps in disentangling oneself from these self-limiting narratives. Remember, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Choosing not to suffer is the true mark of embracing the law of attraction.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Cause I'm thinking suffering, man. It's just like, it just comes. You know, it's just like, you know, it just comes with the package. You know, just like, you gotta suffer, man. That's what I learned from Dostoevsky and the Orthodox take of like Christian faith. They're all about the suffering, folks. They're like, unless you suffer like Jesus did, like, how else are you gonna know? And when you hear about like these monks, man, the Orthodox monks, and you just hear about like how they were living and stuff, and you know, I heard about this one dude who like became the saint of Georgia, bro, and you know, the strange event that happened in 1965 in the Soviet Union, okay, like that kind of stuff, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that like, you know, yeah, it's just real intense. But it makes sense. I mean, I get the whole suffering, and that's kind of been my way of getting it. You know, it's just like no pain, no gain, right? You know, David Goggins, right? No pain, no gain. So the fact that they're saying that suffering is optional, but pain is there, like, whoa.
A prominent stumbling block in harnessing the law of attraction lies in the penchant for blame and the construction of negative narratives.
Yeah, like
At
blaming your
times,
family.
it's more convenient to point fingers or
your
concoct
society,
stories that
or your
paint
government,
oneself as the perpetual
anybody,
victim.
right?
Such patterns emerge from an identification with the mind and its incessant thinking, where external factors or past events are constantly held responsible for current circumstances. This negative feedback loop not only hampers one's ability to manifest desires, but also drowns the individual in a sea of negative energy. Dwelling in blame and pessimistic narratives.
You see this? I don't know what this is going on here, but it kind of reminds me of, first of all, it looks like the aliens at the end of the movie called Artificial Intelligence, old film, but like this kid, like he's like an AI. kind of reminds me of them, right? They had like TV faces. It also reminds me of the aliens who created the clones on the planet the water planet where the clone troopers in Star Wars were created. But this also just I want to say is like depression. It seems to be like a representation of depression in a way, but the more I look at it, the less afraid I am of it.
Is akin to sowing seeds in infertile soil.
Negative.
No matter the effort, the results are rarely as desired. However, realizing that real challenges exist in the present moment, while many perceived problems are mere constructs of the mind, can be liberating. It shifts the focus from what's lacking to what's available and possible. By understanding that most problems are ephemeral and exist primarily in the mind, one can devote energy to...
Hold on. I'm also stopping the video so that I can avoid copyright stuff. So I'm trying to like create my own content here. It says lasting for a very short time. That's what ephemeral means.
Towards actionable solutions. True alignment with the law of attraction demands a conscious move away from blame towards a proactive approach where challenges are perceived as opportunities rather than insurmountable obstacles.
I'm getting hungry, guys.
Racing towards material accumulation, many inadvertently build a barrier against...
Oh, okay. So, yeah. I mean, when I think of material, I just think of Marxism. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And I also find it ironic how they, like, just can't stand, like, the greedy capitalists, right? And so it's, like, this interesting two sides of the coin. But, like, you know, a lot of people, you know, you're talking about, like, money, right? Dude, like, money isn't even real. Like, it's so weird. Anyways.
The abundance that the law of attraction is meant to bring into their lives. A common tale unfolds, one where the relentless quest for more leaves behind an echoing emptiness.
Yeah. Earthly bound desire, you know? Earthly bound desire, and apparently there's a king of heaven, and there's also a king of earth. The king of earth is going to be the alpha male. We'll say the alpha apex predator. That's think about it. Like law of the jungle. Who's the king of the jungle? It's going to be the most powerful, most capable beast in town. That's got to be the devil, guys.
Perfectly captured in the words, the ego is never satisfied and always wants more.
Got a big old ego, right?
Does this relentless craving for more not breed a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction, tarnishing the shimmer of even the most opulent wealth? In this cycle, the essence of true abundance and prosperity gets buried under the weight of worldly desires.
There you go.
Shifting focus and embracing a worldview that transcends materialistic gains fosters a fertile ground where the seeds of law of attraction...
I can't tell you folks how this has really been like what's helped me get through so much in my life. I mean, I've been down in the dumps here and there, left and right, whatever. But I've always been able to find some respite. I think I started getting into dance a lot, and I think the dancing, I always wanted to be one of them shufflers, and I'm talking about the old school, like the techno shufflers. Instead, I've been getting into a lot of house dance, which was really cool, and maybe I can some point make a video and show you my sweet dance moves. But I can tell you that as someone who's just at least been able to find an artistic outlet for like the last almost 8 years now. I started taking dance classes when I was 20 years old. So it's been about 8 years. I can tell you that it has been a saving grace, man. Big time, super big saving grace. Just being able to tap into that recreation that essentially Prince was talking about. And I think the reason why is because you get to tap into a deeper thing that I get to tap into the inner spirit. And I was into The Last Airbender a lot, right? Like the way they bent the elements and all that cool stuff, right? And what I found was that, like, oh man, like, hold on, let me see if I can show you some of my sweet liquid moves, okay? All right, work in progress. But you know, I just found it interesting how I found relief in that, and I wasn't. I mean, I was always really thinking I'd been a bad dancer for a long time, I haven't even done any competitions, but I know that once I'm able to get my money in order, folks, your boy is gonna compete, because there's just too much fertile ground for change and growth there for me to not do it. Okay, shout out to UA. You know who you are.
Can flourish and bloom. Beyond the tangible,
Shout out to Urban
real
Artistry.
wealth embedded in the richness of experience, the warmth of connections, and alignment with the vibrant dance of the present moment. Manifesting from a place of wholeness rather than...
Oh, another thing that I learned from Carlos Castenada, he said that when you're facing death, that you dance. Okay, so I'm ready.
Emptiness becomes not just a choice, but a journey. A journey towards the conscious creation that intertwines not only the accumulation of worldly goods, but also the nurturing of internal abundance, harmonization with the present, and the heartfelt acknowledgement of life's innate bounty. In the tumult of everyday life.
Now that phrase right there, let's bring it back. He said ignoring the essence of beauty.
Bounty.
Dude, like, our being, bro, like, I can't tell you how many people I've met that I've just gotten this vibe from, okay? And this is the reason why I've had so much difficulty with, like, working at, like, HR jobs, like, just like anything with corporate culture, essentially, or when I was at university, basically, because this, like, there's, like, a deeper essence, and I just felt like everybody was just, like, bluffing, okay? And it was just, like, tribal politics, basically, and it was just, like, no, lame, next.
In the tumult of everyday life,
it wasn't authentic.
Overshadowing the essence of being is all too easy, as the incessant demand for doing takes the center stage. Society frequently nudges individuals towards towering external achievements, leaving the profound depth of internal existence.
I mean, if you think about this, if you were to like experiment with some sort of, I guess it would be game theory, but like I don't know enough game theory to like get real into it, but you just think about just like you just try to extrapolate that across like imagine if each person was like a molecule, okay, like an atom, and you just like look at the sea of atoms, okay, and that's essentially what society is. And if everybody's doing this, you essentially end up with like a society where you're gonna have like people like brainwashed, enslaved, Fight Club, whatever Fight Club was fighting against in that whole movie, like just like this whole thing of just like people caught up in just like as Napoleon Hill, who wrote the incredible audiobook, the interview with the devil, and he talked about hypnotic rhythm and negative hypnotic rhythm, and it's just like zombie nation just getting caught up in the current of life. And so it's a real thing, folks. If everybody's doing it, I mean, this is to me, this is essentially this video. What this video really is, this chapter to me is really just telling me what Baltimore is. Okay, this is what I've come to think of as it happens. This is the ghetto, folks. This is what ghettos are. Okay, like it's a place where it's the broken glass effect. Okay.
Unexplored and
Maybe
uncherished,
I gotta write this stuff down so I
ignoring
can
one's
put some
true
links.
essence, the crucial flicker of consciousness within, dim the radiant luminosity of life. Does this denial not obstruct the natural flow of abundance, prosperity, and heartfelt connection that the law of attraction feeds upon?
I'll also put in
Beyond the surface,
Carlos
the essence
Castenada.
of being
If you want to check him out.
transcending
heavy,
into a dimension of
it's in-
profound depth
if you were ready
and
for it.
limitless creativity. In this expanse, life's harmonious dance unfolds, unhindered by the chains of external validation and material pursuits. Quickly recalling the words of Epictetus, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties
true.
about real problems.
This is what happens, folks. This is what happens when you're an overthinker. Okay, you end up extrapolating. Okay, this is what science is all about. Okay, unfortunately, science may even be a necessary evil, folks. Because when you look, and I say that because I know a lot of people think science is good, and it is. It's extremely good. It's helping in a lot of ways. But when you look at how okay, how about this? For any anime fans out there, Full Metal Alchemist. Okay, must I say more? Okay, but for those of you who don't know about Full Metal Alchemist, it's just the idea that some of the greatest technological evolutions we've had were unfortunately created in the furnace of war. Okay, we're talking about where to start. I mean, cell phones. Pretty sure it was just like NSA technology or something like that. There's better examples than that. I would say like, not. In fact, my statement may not even be true. I'm pretty sure someone like Albert Einstein would disagree. As a pacifist, because apparently, he by the way lived through both world wars. Okay, a lot of people forget that some of the most brilliant physicists who did all the quantum mechanics stuff, they were living through both world wars. Okay, and I remember just reading somewhere that Albert Einstein he was really frustrated how a lot of his German peers. This is in the First World War, so this is when you had the Kaiser leading Germany, right, the German Empire, and he was really he didn't like the fact that so many of his peers essentially just turned over and kind of fueled the war. I can't help but think of the opponent of what's his face, man? What's the name of the detective? The guy who does all the detective stories, Sherlock Holmes, and his nemesis, not Dr. Manhattan. Dang it, what was his name? Okay, let's just look him up real quick. Opponent. He was a doctor, right? Opponent to Sherlock Holmes. Professor. Excuse me, Professor Moriarty. Okay, and like, when you watch the second film, one with Robert Downey Jr., which was actually pretty good. I kind of liked it. But like Professor Moriarty, he just turned to all his intellect to like be a very successful businessman, and he was making profit off of the war. Right, he had all his ammunition and armaments built up, which was really cool and very interesting to consider. And it seems like maybe there were a lot of scientists at the time. I mean, you think about like, the gas bombs, right? I mean, that was chemical. That was chemistry. Okay. But radiation, all the research is done on radiation, which has been really incredible. I'm not really making a very good point here, but anyways, all I just wanted to say was that, extrapolation is, it can be damaging. Okay. And like, this is essentially the tree of knowledge. That's the easiest way to break it down, folks. Tree of knowledge. It's when humans were able to think about the future and worry about the past, or worry about the future and think about the past. And, winter is coming, right? And as a result of that, you find yourself like, like when you try to prepare for every contingency, you basically find yourself, and you're going to find yourself very, very quickly just being worried about a lot of things. And it's like a little overwhelming, frankly. And so this is a quote: "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." Okay, and this is so true, folks, on so many levels. This may be the fundamental issue that we have as a species, really.
We're reminded of the immense strength of inner connection and awareness. Aligning with this profound internal essence creates a fertile terrain for the law of attraction to work its charm. Harmonizing this connection sends forth a resonance, radiating outward, whispering silently into the universe, attracting abundance, love, and peace. Tuning into this concealed melody.
You want to talk about anxiety, folks? Everything that I've talked about, I'm getting so much anxiety right now.
Isn't life's mundane transformed into the extraordinary, fostering a seamless alignment with the expansive flow of existence? Imagine a world brimming with individuals blossoming in the rich.
Yeah, I think I have some chamomile tea bags in my apartment here, and then I can just have some of that. That's going to help me relax for sure.
Of their true essence, interconnected.
Look at this. Do you see this girl? Rooted. First of all, I can't even tell if she's real. She might just be a statue. She may have seen Medusa or something. But she's making a sock out of the sun? What the fuck? What does that mean? Wow. I don't understand. I usually am able to make sense of art paintings when I just realize, oh, they were just on psychedelics. But this one here... She is, first of all, she looks totally zoned out. She looks stone-faced. She's literally stone-faced. And what's the BFD here, girl? What's going on? She looks stone-faced. I think she's first of all, she looks terrified, and I think she might be thinking about the whole world. She might be thinking about a whole planet. Actually, that might be it right there. Yeah, sure, she's knitting, but low key, she'd be thinking about a whole freaking planet. Maybe she's thinking about an alien invasion from the planet Mars, just like in the War of the Worlds. She's probably thinking about how the War of the World aliens with their big ass tripods and their super freaking badass laser beams. By the way, those alien ships, right? Steven Spielberg, when he made that film, so amazing, those machines. Oh my goodness, the dexterity that those machines had was insane. But like, yeah, she's probably just thinking about alien invasion.
In their being's profound depths. In such a world, the external layers of identity.
I like how though there's 7. You see that there's 7 trees.
Away,
nice touch.
Unveiling a vibrant.
Oh, by the way, that shadow there may not even be a cloud. I think that might be from the Halo universe, a Covenant supercarrier, and it's just like there with on some sort of camouflage mode. Okay, but it looks very much like a supercarrier. Okay.
Of boundless possibilities. It is through this harmonious dance with the universe that a soft realization of life's intertwined tapestry emerges, embracing the infinite abundance of life. Within this dimension, not a utopian fantasy, but a tangible reality. The law.
Yeah, you want to talk about utopian fantasies, okay? Communism, folks, okay? BioShock. Okay.
Action finds its most authentic and powerful expression, conjuring abundance, love, and profound connection in life's every aspect. Navigating through the ebb and flow of life's countless aspects.
Do you see this man? Do you see this man? He said, "Not giving selflessly." Do you see selfishly?
Profound connection in
not
life's
giving
every
selflessly?
aspect.
Wow, I don't. Whoa, hold on. Am I giving too much selflessly or selfishly?
Navigating through the ebb and flow of life's.
This man literally has just given away so much of his money, right?
Countless aspects.
He's helping the homeless
guys. The value
guys.
of genuine, selfless giving emerges as a consistent theme. Embracing a habit of giving without expecting.
Oh, you're giving, and then you're actually giving away your ego piece by piece. But then, ironically, you're creating an ego too.
Anything in return is pivotal in aligning with the universal law of attraction. A perilous trap many inadvertently fall into is the act of giving shrouded with expectations or desires.
Bruh, you don't understand how many times I've fallen into this trap. This is why I think I've gotten so frustrated with so many things over my life. Oh, no, this particular subject actually hits home for me when it comes to the women I've dated, the girls I've dated, and just the reciprocity in a relationship and all that stuff, and there's one guy in particular, and man, I don't think she'll ever watch this, but yeah, GP, I'm sorry, I was expecting a lot in return.
For reciprocation. This act, driven by the ego's yearning for acknowledgement and reward, distorts the essence and flow of genuine giving. It extinguishes the pure, harmonious vibration that true giving.
I wanted that mermaid puss.
Emanates, a crucial element in aligning with the abundance and prosperity the universe holds. This concept is illuminated in Rhonda Byrne's book, The Power.
You see that? It's like
when
cosmic.
you give, say to yourself, I am in the endless flow of giving and receiving. Feel the happiness inside you. Know that as you have given, you have set an avalanche of giving and receiving in motion. You have opened up the floodgates to receive. Remember that the universe is the infinite source of all things. And
keep in mind that life is like a current, right? Like it's like a current, and you can get pulled by the riptide of life. And I think this is maybe where God is of some use, because you can get hit by like a nice, good Noah's flood, and it may help.
Therefore, you can never deplete it with your giving. This excerpt highlights the profound.
I mean, if you want to get real fucking into the ancient history, folks, there's very strong reason to believe that there was a flood on Earth, right? Talk to Joe Rogan, and talk to the gentleman he's spoken to about this subject, and one of them was Graham Hancock, and the other one was I already forgot his name. Hold on, Hold on, we gotta find his name. We gotta give the shout out. I want to give the shout out. Joe Rogan, Graham Hancock. Oh, Randall Carson? Yeah, it's Randall, man. Freaking Randy, bro. Randy, I love Randy, man. Look, he's talking about ancient lightning bolt technology, bro. Oh, don't get me started with that one, please. Okay? Don't get me started with that one, okay? Some straight up like Lord Sidious powers, okay? Are you kidding me, bro? Anyways, to stay on topic here, to stay focused, we're being focused, okay? We're talking about Genesis, okay? You want to hear some pretty trippy stuff? Who were the humans or the giants that were here before the flood? Okay, apparently they were really sinful folks. We don't know what they were. Okay, we don't know what the fuck they were doing. I don't know what they're doing. Chances are we don't want to know what they were doing. I'm thinking like just some really like nasty. If I think about the Aztecs, for example, and I'm like, man, they were pretty freaking intense. What were these other ones doing? Okay, right. Keep in mind that both empires have fallen, and so God flooded the earth. Okay, so maybe in a way this is analogous to like the ego of man was like flooded in a way and like washed out. Maybe like, I don't know if you can see yourself as like a vessel, I guess the same way the earth is like a spaceship in its own vessel in a way. Maybe there's kind of some sort of metaphor there, right?
The impact of sincere giving. Not only does it enrich the lives of the recipients, but it also opens doors for the giver, aligning them with the universe's boundless abundance. Encountering life from this vantage point, where the joy of giving and the awareness of abundance intertwine,
and the wrath of water
enhances the universal connection,
of an ocean,
magnifying the influx of positivity and prosperity in myriad forms.
Where the creatures of the deep, right? Creatures of the deep.
Staying aware of the ego's pitfalls and consciously choosing to give from a space of love and abundance reinforces the alignment with the law of attraction, ensuring the flow of abundance in and out of life remains uninterrupted.
Avoidance of self-discovery.
Choosing the right path for self-discovery on the journey of life.
I'm seeing this guy. This guy's definitely giving me some like, I was gonna say like Titan. He kind of looks like a Titan, frankly. Greek mythology Titan.
Life inadvertently dampens the power of the law of attraction.
You see the river?
Frequently trapped in external allure, many miss their inner world's richness and the binding universal consciousness.
All the galaxies?
This neglect sows division, estranging individuals from both their true selves and life's limitless bounty. Embarking on self-discovery, layers of ego unfurl, unveiling a boundless core.
I feel like AI is going to help us with this one.
In this embrace of the innermost self, connections to universal abundance strengthen,
help us figure out what it is.
The law of attraction's capabilities. In essence, using the law of attraction involves an inward.
You see that? It kind of almost looks like an eye, folks.
Journey beyond material desires and wishes. It's about self-realization, facing vulnerabilities, and shedding ego-driven boundaries. Abandoning detrimental habits, from ignoring the now to sidestepping self-discovery, lays a path for boundless abundance and fulfillment. This alignment with
I think this stuff is probably more real than real, folks, but unfortunately, because of our ego and just kind of the necessary nature that it has, I guess, I don't know if humans are ever going to have like true ego death. I wonder if that's the whole thing of like Jesus returning to earth and all that, just like ego death. But let's just go with the presumption that like humans need to have like a necessary ego just to like. I mean, at least we needed it to fend off the lions and tigers and bears, right? But let's just say it's like a dormant state in ourselves, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking like on some Warhammer 40K vibes, where like when not if, but when humans start traveling to other planets, I mean, surely those other humans are gonna have to relearn the lessons, aren't they? They're gonna have to relearn the lessons that we've learned here on this earth. They end up at another planet. They're gonna have to like relearn it all over again, right? And if that happens, I'm just thinking. Man, I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot where I was going with that one, folks. talking about law of attraction, facing vulnerabilities. I was just gonna say, I think like when I see a painting like this, and I'm just thinking about what was the artist, how did the artist like come up with this painting, right? I've tried doing some paintings myself, and I'm thinking like I don't know, I'm thinking like, did they dream about this, folks? Maybe this was a dream, or maybe they just ate a bunch of psychedelics. Either way, it's like a reality beyond what our senses, can sense. And as a result of that, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like, there's a reason why, like, a lot of people are skeptical about this stuff. I understand. As someone who like, leans so hard into the scientific method, who, like, lean into, like, everything's just matter, and, like, it's just all like, just atoms, and, all these molecules, and this and that. And yet you, when you realize just the people who actually understood and discovered atoms, the way they approached the problem or the discovery was not in any way the way like some of these books, these Newtonian textbooks explain the subject. The way they discovered this stuff is like the story arcs that they went through is really powerful stuff. Really powerful stuff. And it was really timey-wimey level, just like, wow, that was a story I never expected. And as a result of that, like, it just makes you wonder, well, maybe it's all there, folks. But it's just like, we just get so used to thinking that things are just done a certain way. And we just, this is what Carlos had the issue with in when he was talking to Don Juan. So yeah, Carlitos, he was... Carlos, I'm pretty sure he's a Don by now. By the way, for those of you who don't know, like, calling someone Don in Spanish is like very formal. It's like calling them like Mister. It's like, but like Mister in like the olden times way. Like it's just like a very respectful way. It's almost like calling an Englishman like Sir Benningham. It's like Don. It has that thing to it. So actually, it may have a lot of ego behind it, oddly enough. But anyways, in the story, Don Juan, or excuse me, Carlos Castenada, he was looking to find psychotropic plants that he could then just, he was an anthropologist, and he wanted to experiment with psychotropic, I think was the term he said. Essentially, he was looking for peyote, okay? And this, I think he was out in New Mexico, okay? So he was out west, out in them deserts. And I think he was at a bus stop, and he saw this old dude, and he approached the man, and this old dude, like, seemed to have, like, a nice, warm look on his face. And this old dude ended up being Don Juan, who ended up taking him on this whole journey that he didn't expect. And, during their conversations, he was... Don Juan almost seemed like frustrated, because he was trying to teach Carlos the so-called sorcerer's way, which is another way of looking at the universe, in which you have to almost embrace the uncertainty of life, and it's different than, say, the scientific way. And for anyone who's ready about this, but it's like you've got the tonal and you've got the nagual. We got the ego, and then you've got your true self, basically, as the way I'm seeing it. Or maybe it's the conscious self and the subconscious self. Either way, the tonal, he was describing it, the way Don Juan presented himself to Carlos to tell him, I'm full tonal today, was that he wore a businessman suit. He wore this, like, he went full suit, and they were out in the capital city of Mexico, Mexico City, and this was like the third book. This is the last one I read, and he went full tonal. So he had this nice business suit, and Carlos was just blown away, because it's like, holy moly, I thought you were just some like wacko old man, like Native American dude who was like taking me through the deserts and having me eat this like meat from like this like magical deer, and like just trying to like learn about like the fog and like crossing this bridge and avoiding like death, in different ways, and how they ran at night, and there was like these like portals that they had to avoid as they were running through the night. I mean, it was a very great story. It's a great story, and we don't know if it was really real or not. That's the odd part about it all. But if you I can show you some of the concept art of Carlos Castenada, man. And I don't know, the fact that I've been more recently interested in, like, I'm not Mexicano, folks. My origins are like Panamanian, Colombian. But like recently, I just found myself gravitated to a lot of the culture of Mexico, right? And basically, like, I mean, look at this picture, folks. Look at this. Okay, there's Carlos. Okay, maybe they're telling me to shut the F up right now. But look at this. See the ravens? Or the crows? Okay, crows, folks. And just like, look at this, man. There's one, oh, this is the one I wanted to show you. This is the one I was thinking about. Here's the ally. Okay? Look at that. Look at this. This is like some Dali, okay? This is Dali level, like, what the F. Here's the cover of the book, folks. Okay, this is the book that the atheist Jewish guy who was really pissed off at the invisible neo-Nazis or whatever he was thinking about, okay, who decided to buy the gun and start shooting in the backyard. I had to leave because I felt uncomfortable. Okay, this is the book that he gave me, folks, okay? Talking about, psychedelic effects off of either bird seeds or maybe even mustard seeds, okay? Look at that. Look at this, okay? So I mean, that's all I can say on this. That's all I can say on this, okay? I find the art really beautiful, and this is the actual man, okay? And yeah. I don't think that's Carlos Castenada. That might be Don Juan. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. That's just very, you're entering some new waters, or maybe some old ass waters, folks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, folks, the lands of America. It's not just America, right? But we live in it. The lands are so old, people. Okay, I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure if you were to eat enough LSD and go out, you would see this. Okay, just letting y'all know. So yeah, it was really great stories, folks. I don't know if he believed in God or not. Frankly, that's the thing. Maybe this is like a test. Maybe this is a test. But I've had to lean into like what I've known, folks. Just coming from a Christian sort of background, I guess I've had to lean into a little bit more of that, just to like, relax. That's what I did, folks. Okay, look at this. Look at the Grand Canyon. Okay. By the way, folks, I hope to have the confidence someday to go out there. Okay, I'm gonna get that sweet van life. All right, but let's just finish the video. Right, let's just finish the video.
From ignoring the now to sidestepping self-discovery,
but in due time, folks,
lays a path for boundless abundance and fulfillment. This alignment with universal flow allows seamless manifestation and immersion in the universe's endless gifts, epitomizing true abundance
I'm just a European,
manifestation.
Guys. Get the European origins. Okay. So anyways, I think that's the end of this video, folks. That was a lot. Hopefully it was fun. I had some fun. It's time to wrap this video up. Thank you for listening. Please comment below if you want. I'm going to leave the comments open. See if this video doesn't get taken down, of course. But thank you for watching. And if you want to support, I don't really think everybody's ready to watch. Everybody's even ready or wants to hear what I've said and talked about in this. But if you want to help, I think the easiest way to help is if you want to just like send some good energy my way. I think that's just the easiest thing, folks. And just know that the universe is going to take care of the rest. I'm going to be in good hands. All right. So I say, love you very much. Stay safe. Okay. Everybody stay safe. Okay. For all you cosmonauts out there, please stay safe. Okay. Cosmonauts, astronauts, psychonauts, whoever you all are, please stay safe and just, take care of yourselves and, don't be so hard on yourselves, please. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you can, you can get past that event horizon, I guess. So with that, we're going to wrap it up here. Peace out.